This complex media list has everybody turning against Akademiks out of nothing but pure jealousy. I had a lot of issue with the list. Akademiks being one was not one of my issues. Akademiks is obviously number one. He's the most impactful media personality. He's the most tapped in media personality. He's the best source of news, talent-wise, grind-wise. He gives the most in terms of a media personality. He's on live stream 6 hours a day, 7 days a week, right? So Akademiks is clearly number one most impactful, right? And we've seen it with the Drake and Kendrick beef. Now, that beef is 2 years ago, and it has no impact in what I believe should be the list currently. But even with that beef, right, like what we saw was Akademiks being the go-to guy for what it was, right? Now, I think Akademiks this year, since the beef is 2 years ago, this year Akademiks has proven to be the number one source of news and information in hip-hop media, right? He's the most impactful voice. Now, Joe being at number two, I definitely agree with. Vlad being number three, I agree with this one, but I was shocked Vlad was number three. Even though I do believe Vlad is number three, I was shocked that Complex will give Vlad his credibility because, there was some point where Vlad was like ranked like number 12 or 15th when he was obviously top five and it was like discrediting him. Now, Jadakiss and Fat Joe being number four, y'all are out of y'all effing minds, bro. Cut it out, man. Jadakiss and Fat Joe had a show for about 6 or 7 months so far. And for about 3 out of the 6 or 7 months, it's been behind a paywall on Netflix. So for the last 3 months, we haven't even seen what Jadakiss and Fat Joe has to say. It's behind a paywall. So how is Jadakiss and Fat Joe the most impactful? I don't like the most powerful. I can't even begin to fathom their thought process. But as we'll see a little later in this video, they had no thought process. Okay, now Charlamagne being 5, I would probably agree with Charlamagne the God being number 4. Like behind Vlad. The rest of the list is cool. Like Rory and Mal, I definitely agree, should be a little higher. I'll probably put Rory and Mal, I don't know. Man, in fact, no, like 7 is good. I'll put Rory and Mal in the top 10. Just as my personal bias, I think Rory and Mal is the only podcast where you could legitimately make an argument they have 3 A mics. Rory is an A mic, Mal is an A mic, and Damaris, I think, is an A mic on any other podcast. Now, like the only like surprise or shocker here would probably be they had Kirko. Now, Kirko is like a Twitter page mainly. The fact that they're on the list is surprising, right? But, I guess they're trying to evolve since the media landscape is evolving, But yeah, now Rob Markman being on the list as well, I was kind of shocked. But, when you have Rob Markman on the list, but Adam 22 is not on the list, that's kind of shocking. But, shout out to Rob Markman. He's been a staple in hip-hop for a while now. I personally would rank Adam above Rob Markman. I would rank Adam above Elliott Wilson. I would rank Adam, right, above a few different people. Now, Shannon Sharp does sports. Why is Shannon Sharp on a hip-hop media list? What hip-hop do Shannon Sharp do? Shannon Sharp talks about sports. He has a football podcast and a basketball podcast, and he interviewed primarily comedians. So, yeah, this right here, again, it doesn't make sense to me. Nardwuar is a legend and an OG. I don't know if Nardwuar is still active. I haven't seen like a Nardwuar interview in a while. Let's go to, I guess, the Nardwuar's YouTube channel to see what they're up to right now. Yeah, right. So Nardwuar, last couple of interviews, let's go through it. So Nardwuar had Melissa Defmar, had Netspin, David Bryan, had Ghost, Franz Fernandez, Foshi. Bro, Shay, bro, Nardwuar hasn't done like hip hop in a while. But shout out to Nardwuar, man. I'm not hating. So with all the problems being on the list, people have a problem with DJ Akademiks being number 1. And I done seen a lot of slick hating been going on since Akademiks was ranked number 1. Now, the usual suspects, of course, Ebro and Rosenberg took to their platform to critique Complex and claiming that Complex is doing a grave injustice to the culture for giving Akademiks number 1.
Wait, if you're really paying attention to it, I don't know. Yeah. If you're really paying attention to it, what I found interesting, I wasn't even going to get into this. Complex made a list. Akademiks used to work at Complex.
He was made at Complex.
Yeah, so
in a real way.
Complex is Complex has Akademiks at number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Complex also has Akademiks sitting there with Jordan debating everyone else on the list while he's at number 1.
Mm-hmm.
So they all are benefiting from the whole moment together.
For sure.
For the algo hustle.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So it's all algo hustle.
But like that's, and listen, I guess I'm fine with all of it. I'm just.
No, you can be annoyed by it.
No, I'm just pointing out it is a celebration of bullish. I'm like, you're
not completely,
but
the
mostly.
academics of it all, maybe. But there's people in there who are doing real great work.
Yeah, and yeah.
You know what I mean? That are doing really trying to do quality. There's definitely people in there who are algo hustling, me included, right? There's people in there who are trashy. There's people in there who are real journalists writing and trying to cover things in a real way. So there are some problems, just like any list.
But the list.
You're focused on number 1. If Ak was at 11 and Joe Budden's at 2. If Joe Budden was at 1 and Ak was at 2,
I guess
maybe
it's the word media that bothers me. Like popular personalities in hip hop or influential personalities in hip hop. Sure, we can have a conversation. I only know about Akademiks. The same thing he said about you is what I would say about him.
To despise DJ Akademiks so much that you're willing to present yourself as illiterate and not knowing the definition of media is crazy. Media, yes, Akademiks is media. He disseminates information. He covers. He gives out information. Akademiks has a blog for damn near a decade now, right? And that blog is wildly successful. Akademiks has a website that has a blog. Akademiks have a YouTube channel that has a blog. Akademiks, by all definition, is media. Now, where you guys go wrong at, a lot of you guys, y'all sit on your high horse and y'all do the bourgeoisie thing, which is, they're not media. They've never sold their soul to a corporation before. You've never worked in the mailroom of the New York. How can you? We don't consider that. Listen, it's in with the new times, out with the old times. If that still mattered, you guys would be at radio right now. But you guys is on YouTube doing the show. Are you not media because you're on YouTube? And there's narrative that Complex only gave Akademiks the number 1 because Akademiks worked at Complex at some point. When Akademiks left Complex, Akademiks damn near burned those bridges. Akademiks went crazy on Complex. Akademiks has critiqued the list. To pretend that Akademiks is number 1 for anything outside of the work and dedication he put in. You guys do what, like an hour, maybe 2 hours for this podcast once a day? Akademiks streams 6 hours, and he runs a blog, and he does various things in media. The work he put in is what demands him being number 1. But then Rosenberg will go on to say that because Ak is number 1, it delegitimizes the entire list. But the real problem here is Rosenberg is upset that he was not acknowledged, that he was not on the list. And deep down inside, it eats him up inside that Akademiks gets awarded as the number 1 guy when he has spent the latter part of a decade hating on Ak, and the hating hasn't worked. All the hating does is to propel Akademiks to the top.
I only hear about Akademiks if it's some sort of talked ish about Kendrick Lamar or defended Drake. That's the only...
Or promoted Trump.
Or promoted Trump. It's not... And so what I'm saying is, yes, I love seeing that a Rob Markman is on there. I love seeing there are a few people on there who I'm like, oh, yeah, I've seen the credible work they're trying to do to grow artists.
Yeah.
But and grow the culture. Most of it is not about culture growth. It's about sucking the juice out of it in the worst ways possible. That's why you don't even make sense, because you're not really a part of that. That's only the stuff he cares about with regard to you is the stuff you get into with Drake. It's not at all about your artist development at Apple, which is really the reason you belong on a list.
Right, but that's not measurable. Most people don't. The work I do at Apple Music to break new artists or platform new artists or give people an outlet to perform, that's not being covered by the algorithm like that.
I understand, and that's why I think the whole thing is bullish.
But so the problem really is what you're talking about is what we call, like you said, what we call media.
Why are we, including you, propping up a list that has this guy at number one? Why do y'all and me
Well, it's just in the ethos
legitimize?
now. It's just in the convo today.
But every time we do it, and I don't remember if I posted it when I was on it. I probably did. But Rory Mal, everyone who's on it who deserves to be on it, great. Every time we prop up this thing that makes Akademiks the most important person of media, we are legitimizing. Oh yeah, of course. You don't say. Really, I thought it was gonna be him and David Muir next to each other, and the New Yorker editorial board. But every time we do it, we're just legitimizing the idea that this is what the top of hip hop media looks like.
But people disagree with it. There's people all over the internet that disagree with it.
I understand.
It's just a conversation piece. It's not even that deep.
Everything's a conversation piece.
But that's what we're here to do. I mean, that's why we have microphones, to have a conversation.
No, I'm just saying everyone belongs on Validate Me Right With Me. Because everyone loves it. In your case, I saw what your post was. It's doing. I know you. You're doing a little something different. But everyone gets hyped that they get mentioned. So would I. I'm being honest. Yes, and I do feel disrespected when I'm ignored. All of those things are valid. But what I'm saying is whenever goes, oh, look at me, I'm number blank. Everyone is signing up for, this is the list we honor that thinks Akademiks is the number one most important thing in hip-hop media. So don't then turn around and be annoyed when people think Akademiks is the most important thing in hip-hop media. Because we're co-signing the whole thing.
I'm not annoyed about Akademiks being number one in hip-hop media. I'm not annoyed by that at all.
You think it's legitimate?
I think he's got a big platform, and when he says stuff about me or on his, mostly for me, I see it on Twitter if I'm in there.
A bunch of eggs start coming after you when he talks about you.
Yeah, so I mean, clearly, whatever the ecosystem is that they've built, it moves around and creates conversation, for better or for worse, right? And I've
conversation among weird incels on Twitter who you've never met in your life, but
that's the
Akademiks on any given night does about anywhere between, you say, 12 to about 18 plus live viewers from all channels, from the Academy and King Akademiks. He streamed together there. He does Twitter sometimes. So let's just say 18K concurrent live viewers on any given night talking about majority hip hop. Akademiks, for the most part, has the loudest voice in hip hop media. Akademiks is viewed as a spokesperson and a representative, whether or not you like it. So to simply say that Akademiks' audience, his supporters, are nothing but incels, you would be what I would call outdated. There are people who was in Akademiks chats in 2017 to 2018 who have grew up to have their own media platforms, right? These are not incels. These are people from different political backgrounds, different ideologies, right? Different ways that we consume the culture, different taste in music, but we respect what Akademiks bring to the table because Akademiks has been our source of news, of hip-hop news, before it was popular to do, right? Before everybody and a mama had a YouTube channel like myself talking about hip-hop, Akademiks was doing it in his closet with a bedsheet over his head, speaking into his phone like this. Even now with the Instagram news page, it's so common nowadays to see these hip-hop media pages on Instagram and on Twitter. You know who was one of the four founders of that? Akademiks. He was he trailblazed a path that you right now is making money from off of. This digital hip-hop media space was trailblazed by people like Akademiks. So for you to enjoy the fruit of his labor while at the same time simultaneously saying he ain't shit and he has no impact, it's absurd, man. I don't know, right? But y'all let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think about this? I've been seeing a lot of other people throwing little slick shots and sneak jabs, man, because they see Akademiks at number one, and people don't really like it. All right, let me know, man, what's your thoughts, man? All right, what do you guys think about this? And if you're still watching this video and you want to watch another good video, click on this video right here to find out how Aries Spears tried to expose Vlad TV today on his podcast, but he failed miserably at it. I'm going to see you guys in this Aries Spears and Vlad TV video. And if you want to support, please send me a hype. I see everybody who send me a hype. It'll mean a lot if you send me a hype, please. I'm going to see you guys in this Aries Spears and Vlad video. Out of here, folks. Peace.